Good morning and aloha. I'm Jennifer Taylor. I'm the volunteer president of the board for Malama Mauna Lua, and I've been working with Malama Mauna Lua about 10 years now. Malama Mauna Lua was founded by some long-term residents who lived on the bay, had been here for generations, and understood what was happening in the bay and in the serious condition that it was in. It's been overrun by invasive species, invasive kinds of algae and mudweed like the one we're going after today. It's been threatened by overharvesting of really scarce resources. The fish populations have declined significantly in the last 50 to 60 years. And with all our development, especially in the 50s and the 60s, all that sediment comes rolling down into the water, so it chokes out the coral and creates a really ugly and unhealthy habitat for the bay. So Malama Mauna Lua is all about restoring and conserving Mauna Lua Bay.
Now, how hard is it to get rid of all this? Is it possible to actually get rid of all of it, or is it just growing continuously?
That's a really good question. It's impossible to get rid of all of it, but we can make really great strides. Right now, we have 29 acres that we'd consider to be completely cleared. They've got less than 10% any kind of invasive species in them. Now, most of those acres got cleared because it's very hard to do. With a grant we got from NOAA and worked with the Nature Conservancy back in 2009, 2011, and could actually hire full-time crews to come out here and remove the heaviest layers of the invasive algae. So what we're about now with all of our community volunteers is maintaining those 28 acres and trying some replanting, because we've noticed that where we take out this ugly mudweed, the habitat starts looking healthier immediately. The sand stays really clear. The mud and sediment flush out to the bay much faster, and we see native species regrowing. So if we can maintain that with our volunteers and do some planting to help them along, we'll have a pretty healthy habitat in about 30 to 35 acres of the bay.
Wow. And how long do you think it would take to get there
Well, the 26 acres, 27 acres that were cleared in the big project had people who were working full time, right? It was an 8-hour day, 50 people, 5 days a week, and that took about 12 months. So it can be done, but it's expensive. The only way this mudweed can get cleared is by hand. We can't use the super vacuum cleaner like they use in Kaneohe or other places. The stuff is just too tightly attached, and the topography and the tides are such that manual is the only way to go. So clearing it all, that wouldn't be the objective, but clearing big enough patches of the worst areas and keeping them clear so that the habitat has a chance to recover, that's a good objective. And we can do that with your help, with help of people like Accuity coming out every single week to work in the bay.
And then the seaweed goes to the farmers, is that correct?
100% of the invasive species get recycled in local farms. We had a big problem when we first started 10 years ago saying, who wants this, right? It doesn't decompose well. It's not a typical recyclable material that any animal would eat. Pigs wouldn't even eat it. But what we found through experimentation and working with the Department of Tropical Ag and the farmers, it works really well as good soil amendment. We have farmers that literally seek us out to get the mudweed because it's so good for their soil and their crops.
Well, thank you so much for interviewing with us, and we're excited to be here.
So my name is Alex Bessemer, and I work with Malama Mauna Lua. We are a community-based nonprofit organization. So as you can see, the community in the background out here helping us out, really big help. It's awesome. Without their help, we wouldn't be able to do what we do today. So thank you.
And you are?
Aloha, I'm Kent Tsukamoto. I'm the managing partner of Accuity LLP. I'm so proud of all of our people and their work in the community. is beyond accounting. If you take a look outside in that area, they're helping to preserve or restore Mauna Loa Bay. Hawaii used to have 800,000 inhabitants that fed themselves. A big part of their diet was seaweed, fish, and other things from the ocean. Over the years, unfortunately, it's been degraded, but we're here today to help try to restore the bay.
That's great, thank you. And so, what led you to choose Malama Mauna Loa Bay? Because you guys do this every year, a community service project.
We choose Community Service Day every year. We have gone to the IHS, we've cooked there, we have done Below the Chinese Home, we've cleaned up schools, we've repainted schools. We thought we'd do something out in the ocean. Number one, to give our people a chance to get out into the ocean. And number two, because it is important that we take care of where we live. The Hawaiians had a saying, what happens in the mountains affects the ocean. What happens in the ocean affects the mountains. So we need to take care of all of that.
We bag it up and then farmers come pick it up. Otsuji Farms is one of them right down the road, a local farm, and they all use it and they compost it, use it as fertilizer. Yeah, we'll get some samples when we're over there so you guys can see exactly what we're dealing with and what these algae look like. We're going to walk all the way around that corner over there. Good try. Good try. Just like the little Chinese home, you and I can check.
Everyone, 1, 2, 3, smile. Congratulations. Thank you for allowing us to help you.
Thank all of you.
This is a check in a Ziploc bag.
From all of you, so thank you very much. Thank you.
But what's even better is that we're going to hear.
I buried my keys one time. So there's a lot of invasive algae out here. One of them is, anybody know what this is? Almost. Yeah, other ogo. Okay, gorilla ogo. This is a relative. So this one is another one we have. Sorry, we don't have that much because apparently it might not be in season right now.
This is your lunch, guys. You thought you were going to a nice restaurant after.
How you guys doing? Almost like get you see
Sorry.
So, where you going? There's a certain point where our tipping point is, I think, the point of no return. So if it gets that bad, no matter what, yeah. So what we're trying to do is
Good, and up.
Oh, you got me. There's so many. Sorry about that. Thank you. I mean, we can do 2 bags. No, that's okay. Let's just try to pick up sand and see what that was.
I don't think it's like gorilla with the mud.
Yeah.